Hey y'all, if you're new here or you've just forgotten who I am, my name is Amber, and on my channel we normally talk about affordable handbags and accessories. So if that sounds good to you, then stick around and let's hang out. So today we're not actually talking about handbags or any of that. I am going to tell y'all where I've been since I kind of disappeared off YouTube. I know a lot of y'all have had questions and just a lot kind of going on around that, and I thought the easiest thing I could do would be to just make a video and address it and try to answer y'all's questions the best that I can. So, some of the stuff I can't get into a lot of detail about because it's about other people, not just me, and so that's not really my story to tell or my place to talk about too much, so I hope y'all can understand that. But otherwise, I'm just gonna try to tell y'all as much as I can. So this will probably be a very long, very chatty video. Y'all know how I can get. I can ramble, and a lot of this stuff is kind of really emotional for me. So yeah, just try to have a little bit of grace with me if you can. Um, Maybe grab a drink or a snack. You know how people tell you to do that when there's a long video coming up, because who knows how this is going to go, but feel free to just kind of turn me on in the background and go do whatever you need to do for the day. But for those of y'all that are curious and have the questions and all of that, this is for you all. So let's go back to like the very end of September, the very beginning of October 2023. Okay, so right around the end of August or the beginning of September, we found out that my uncle was very sick, very ill. He was terminally ill. To be completely, totally fair with you, he's not my blood related uncle. He's more like a family friend to me, I guess you would say. But you know, for all intents and purposes, my uncle. And so we had about a month, give or take, to kind of prepare for that. And at the very end of September, he passed away. So that was hard. It's always hard when you lose somebody that you care about. But we had kind of, I guess, like a little bit of a forewarning about it. So we had already grieved losing him to a degree. I don't want that to come across the wrong way, but if you've had anybody terminally ill in your life, you know kind of what I'm talking about. Like you have that little time period where you know what's coming, you just don't know when it's going to happen. So you've already started to mentally accept the inevitable, I guess you would say. So when he passed, that it just really sucked, for lack of better words. And just within a day or two of his passing, I started getting emails from YouTube about my YouTube channel, and there were all these complaints being filed against it, and they were putting strikes against my channel, and it hadn't been banned at that point, but it was like under review, and they were taking my videos down left and right, and I was going through all this kind of contentious bullshit with YouTube. And so I was really frustrated with the whole of YouTube at the time, and he had just passed, and I was just fed up with everything. And I was trying to get my YouTube channel straightened out. And it was about 2 weeks after my uncle had passed that I randomly got a phone call one morning telling me that one of my absolute nearest and dearest, oldest friends, someone I had been friends with for decades at this point, had unexpectedly passed in the middle of the night. And she had a husband and two young boys. And it was just totally out of the blue. She was healthy. There was nothing wrong that any of us knew about. And it was just, that was just like a smack in the face to me. Like, it was almost like, how much more can there be? And that was genuinely one of the thoughts that I had, you guys. Like, I'm just going to be real with you. I was just like, how much more can there be? And I think I cursed all of us when I said that. Because about a month after that, so we're into early November, late October, early November. I can't even keep all the dates and times straight. Uh, my mom called me and she had cancer. She had been to the doctor and they found a tumor. And I'm an only child, so I lost my dad at the very, very beginning of 2019. So it's just me and my mom. As far as, my parents, siblings, all of that, it's just me and my mom. My mom has several siblings, but, they have their own lives and their own kids and their own things going on. And so it's just my mom and me and my family, my kids, my husband, all of that. And cancer is what took my dad. And my mom is my best friend in this entire world. She is a hard ass and she is stubborn and she can be a pain in the butt, but she is also the best mother on this earth. Like, I can't tell you how much she has done for me and how she has always put me and my family first. So, hearing that she was facing cancer, especially after everything else that had already happened, I don't really even have the words for it. And so we pretty much were immediately sent on her kind of medical journey with cancer. And what initially started out as one tumor turned into 7 tumors. And that started all of her doctor's appointments and treatments and surgeries and the plethora of things that come with cancer. And so I was gone a lot more than I was home, really. But, she's my mom. I'm going to do anything in the world I can do to help her or be there for her. And so it was a lot. That was it was a lot that happened really quickly. And when we got up to December of that year, so the very end of 2023, we had talked to one of my mom's surgeons, and she was going to have a surgery, and it was a big surgery. And collectively, between her surgeon and, her and I and her sisters and her brother, I don't know how much she actually discussed it with them, but between her and I discussing it and talking with her doctors and her surgeon, we decided to wait to have her surgery until after Christmas because she had already been put through a lot and everything else that was going on, and it was Christmas, and we just wanted to take a little break around Christmas and just try to enjoy the holidays. And so I think Christmas that year was on Sunday or Monday, I can't remember. But the Friday right before Christmas, my nephew was getting married. My husband's nephew, so my nephew by marriage. And so I was really looking forward to that. just to spend time with my husband and my kids, because I'd been gone so much that I hadn't really done very much of that at all. And so where our nephew lives is a couple hours away from us. So the day of his wedding, that Friday before Christmas, we got dressed, and I got the kids all dressed up, and I got a little bit dressed up, and I felt really good because it was like something good was happening after all the shit, just after all the awful shit. And I was just really looking forward to it, and I think we all were. And so we got in our vehicle and we were on our way to our nephew's wedding, and my husband's family started calling. And I think at first it was one of his aunts, and then somebody else, and finally his brother in law, his sister's husband, called. And it was unusual to get that many calls right in a row. The first couple my husband just ignored, and we were driving and we were talking to the kids, and he was like, they're probably just calling to see where we're at, like what time we're going to get to the church. And so he just ignored the calls. But when that third call came and it was his brother in law, he decided to answer it. And I felt like maybe he should answer that call as well, because they all called one right after another, and that just was unusual. And so the minute he answered his phone, I heard uh, my brother in law, my husband's brother in law, tell him that his stepfather had passed away. And that was another situation where we knew that he wasn't in the best of health ever, but we damn sure weren't expecting that. And it was just another blow, like just another huge blow. And I just remember at that moment feeling like, damn, just I felt so bad for my mother in law, my nephew. He was getting married in like an hour, and his grandma, my mother in law, was supposed to be there, but that wasn't gonna happen. And his grandpa, my father in law, was supposed to be there, and that wasn't gonna happen. And that was his wedding day. And I felt awful for my husband and my kids. It was just awful. It was just, we were supposed to have this good day, just a good day after everything. And it was not a good day, you guys. It was an awful day. It was another awful day just to pile up the end of that year. And so my husband called his mom. It wasn't my husband's biological father, it was his stepfather, but we still all loved him. And so he called his mom to check on her, and she's a tough lady, a very tough lady. So she said, go to the wedding. I don't want to ruin his wedding. I don't want this to ruin his wedding. Father-in-law wouldn't want this to ruin his wedding. He should go on with his wedding. And so we went to our nephew's wedding and got through that somehow. And when that was over, instead of a reception, we went to my mother-in-law's house to be with her. It was just an awful day. Just an awful day. So we got through all of that eventually. All of last year, I basically spent gone with my mom to all of her doctor's surgeries, appointments, treatments, everything. And my mom has a couple of underlying health conditions. So it was making everything. I'm sorry. I'm going to cut out all the spots where I keep having to stop. But I'm getting all nasally. But it was making everything, 2, 3, 4 times more difficult because every surgery or minor procedure that she had done, instead of healing in 2 to 4 to 6 weeks, it would take 8, 10, 12, 16 weeks. And every time she had to switch medications or start a new medication, it was like the side effects were almost worse than what they were supposed to be treating. Or yeah, it was just so much. Just so much. It was like every time we would turn around, we would feel like we had made a little bit of progress, and then something else would hit us. So it would be, 1 step forward, 2 steps back every time. And I think she started to get really disheartened about midway through last year. She had that really big surgery at the beginning of last year, 2024. And I think it was supposed to be about a 6-week recovery time, and it ended up being almost 6 months, where her doctors were having to keep a really, really close eye on her because her surgical site just wasn't healing properly at all. And we were really worried about, potential infections on top of everything else. And she was really struggling, having a little bit of a hard time with one of her treatments that she was going through. And we were just gone constantly. I think I was gone more than I was home. Or at least that's how it felt. But we managed to get through all of that. And thankfully, no deaths last year, which I don't guess I need to knock on wood for that because that year's gone. I hope there are none this year. I don't think I can mentally handle anything else right at the moment. But currently, we're kind of at a point where we are in limbo with her treatment. Technically speaking, we have reached the point where my mom is medically cancer free, which is amazing. However, she is not done. She still has at least 1 more, if not 2 more, major surgeries that she has to have. And I am scared shitless for those, I'll just be honest with you, because she has had such a hard time healing and recovering from her previous surgeries that I'm just really worried about how that's all going to go. In the midst of all of that, they thought they had found some precancerous cells in her again. And so she had a minor operation for that to remove those cells before there was ever an opportunity for them to turn cancerous. She did heal from that one a lot better, but again, that was a much more minor procedure, much less invasive. But yeah, we're not out of the woods with all of that with her yet. But we're kind of at this lull because her pre-existing conditions that she had really kind of gotten out of control through some of her cancer treatments and other things that her doctors were more focused on, I guess you would say. And so those pre existing conditions kind of got pushed to the wayside a little bit, and they weren't being managed as well as they should have been. And so before she could have her next surgeries, we had to stop and kind of go backward and get her pre existing conditions back under control so that hopefully she doesn't have such a hard time recovering from these upcoming surgeries. So, yeah, while she is medically cancer free now, she is not even remotely done with her full cancer journey, I guess you would say. So, right now, while we're kind of in this limbo, is why I've had a microscopic amount of time to stop and maybe try to come back to YouTube a little bit. I don't know how frequently I'll be able to be here. I hope that I can get back to it more regularly, but there's no guarantee on that because I just never know what's going to happen day to day anymore, y'all. Like, I just really don't. But if we take a step back from all of the kind of major, really terrible things that kind of happened over the last, roughly 2 years, year and a half to 2 years, there have also been the fact that our refrigerator broke. I have broken 2 phones. Um, the majority of all of my mom's treatments and surgeries and everything have been quite far away from where we live. And so we've had to do a lot of traveling for all of her medical appointments and all of that. And multiple times, we got lost going to a new treatment center or hospital or clinic. And then when it came to my YouTube channel, it was about a year, I want to say, before all of that got cleared up. So that all started around September of 23. And I didn't get full resolution on any of that, or my videos re-uploaded, unrestricted, whatever you want to call it, until I want to say around July of 24, so last year. And that was frustrating. That was really disheartening as far as even trying to continue going with YouTube, because a lot of what they were saying, a lot of the issue was they kept removing a lot of my videos where I would show you all designer dupes or designer inspired bags from like Temu. And it was because people, whoever it was, I don't know. I I can't even say for sure if it was actual people or if it was the AI system that monitors. I don't know who it was or what it was, but they kept flagging those videos for showing replicas. And there were no replicas in those Temu videos. They were just dupes. None of those items were branded, none of that. And there were probably 12 videos or so that they completely restricted and took access away from. And they were going to try and give me a strike against each one of those videos. And I believe that it's if you get like 3 strikes on YouTube, they will completely shut your channel down. So there was a period of time where technically my channel was still active, but I couldn't really do anything with it, even if I wanted to or had the time to do it. So I had to essentially fight the claims on all 12 of those videos. And thankfully, it took almost a year, but thankfully they did, I guess, have an actual person review those videos, which God bless their soul, because my videos are long And so somebody probably spent about 12 to 14 hours of their life just reviewing my videos to see if I was showing replicas or dupes in those videos. But yeah, I had to defend every single one of those videos. And they did all get reinstated. There were no additional strikes put against my channel or anything like that. So everything was basically cleared up and I was free to upload on YouTube again. But like I said, I was gone all the time and I was so busy with my mom and just everyday life. Just my daughter goes to school every day and I take her to school and I pick her up. And there were a lot of days that she missed school because with everything going on with my mom, I either couldn't get her there on time or I wasn't going to be back in time to pick her up. So she just had to go with us. And she didn't mind. My daughter is extremely smart. Both of my kids are, my son and my daughter, but my son is already out of school. So he's much more independent. My daughter is younger, but she is in the gifted and talented program at her school. So she is very smart, and she knows she's very smart. She's accelerated far beyond her age and grade level. So what what days of school she did miss, she didn't suffer for it. She was perfectly fine. She We tried to make the best out of it. On days that my mom was feeling pretty good after an appointment or procedure or whatever, we would, if she was with us, we would try to take her somewhere and do something with her. So it wasn't just, another doctor's appointment, another treatment, another procedure. Especially since we were so far away from home, we figured we may as well try to make the best out of it if we could and if my mom felt like it. So we tried to do that. We didn't always succeed. Sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't. Yeah, it's just been a lot. It's just been a lot, you guys. I just have not had the mental capacity or the motivation, I guess, until now to try and come back to YouTube because I've just had so much on my mind. And I still have a lot on my mind. In some ways, I have more going on now than I did even then. And so I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if I'll be able to upload regularly, if it'll be sporadic here and there, just when I can. But I really miss it. And so I really do want to come back to it. Now, let's address the giant elephant in the room. There was a vlog sale at the end of September 2023, almost 2 years ago. And I know that several of you all still don't have your items from that blog sale. I have no excuse for that other than all I can tell you is that my brain has not been there. Um, just with everything that happened and everything that's still happening and how everything piled up, I just completely forgot about it. And it's no excuse. I sincerely apologize to those of y'all that still don't have your items. I will have my new email linked in the description box. So if you're one of those people that is still waiting on your items, I am so sorry from the bottom of my heart. Like, genuinely so, so sorry. And I want to get those to you. So please email me again. I am sure that you have already emailed me 100 different times and I have just missed your email through all of the spam and the junk and the crap. So please email me again. Put stars or emojis or something in the subject line so that I see your email. I will do my absolute damnedest to get you your items as soon as I humanly can because I don't ever want y'all to think that I wasn't trying to give you the things that you purchased. That was absolutely never my intention. Um, I had vlog sales previous to that, and they were perfectly fine. But that was before life really just seemed to go to hell, all within a matter of a few weeks. So, again, I'm just so, so sorry from the bottom of my heart, and I want to make that right. So, email me, tell me what it was you had purchased, give me your address again, and I will send your items to you. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of the biggest gist of what's been going on. Not a lot of good. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now because I have almost cried so many times through this video that I can't even breathe through my nose right now, and I sound crazy. And I'm tired, and just thinking about all this stuff wears me out. And thinking about everything that we still have to do wears me out. And thinking about everything else that's going on right now wears me out. So, for the moment, for right now, that's all I'm going to say about any of this stuff because it's very depressing and very sad. And my YouTube channel was a place to talk about things like frivolous handbags that make me happy, not all the sad stuff. But I felt like it was only fair to tell y'all where I've been and why I've been gone for so long because I know if the situation were reversed and someone that I watched on YouTube pretty frequently just went missing in action, I would have a lot of questions and I would wonder where they went. So, yeah, I hope this just answers some of those questions. If you have more, feel free to ask me in the description box. I don't mind at all. I'm pretty much an open book. So I'm more than happy to answer questions or feel free to email me if you feel like, that's how you would rather chat or whatever. That's fine too. So the plan going forward with my channel is to just be here as much as I can. I have picked up quite a few bags while I've been gone because retail therapy still exists, and I have definitely been partaking in that to help alleviate some of my stress, I guess you'd say. So I've picked up quite a few new handbags and quite a few pre-loved handbags. Um, Kate Spade and Michael Kors. Y'all know I only do affordable on my channel. So some dupes, some bags from Amazon, some from Temu. Like I said, Kate Spade, a couple from Michael Kors, Coach. I picked up the Clementine from the Horse. Uh, I've picked up some bags from new brands or brands that I didn't personally own before that. Um, yeah, I have a lot of new bags. So if y'all are interested in seeing any of those, let me know. Or if you have any um, ideas for videos that you would like to see me do, then leave those suggestions in the comments. I am more than happy to take ideas because, as I said, I am super rusty. I have been gone a very long time from YouTube, so I am definitely out of the swing of things. Uh, but yeah, just anything y'all want to see, or I love doing those kind of like list videos. So if y'all want to see something like maybe my 10 favorite bags that I picked up in 2024, then let me know and I can definitely do that because y'all haven't seen any of the bags that I picked up last year. So it might be fun to show you like my 10 favorite out of all of them because I think in total there were like 80-ish that I got last year, which is ridiculous in and of itself. I know, but I am who I am. Or if you want to know maybe what bags I let go of last year while I was gone, let me know, and I can let you know what some of the bags I let go of were, why I didn't keep them, or whatever the case may be. If you still enjoy the designer dupes and designer inspired videos like I just did with Amazon, then definitely let me know about that, because I can find those bags like crazy. I can make those videos for you guys all the time. So yeah, just let me know what y'all would like to see. And I truly am rambling at this point, so I'm gonna hush, because I think the point of this video was made like 20 minutes ago. But if y'all have any comments, questions, or you just want to say hello, then as always, please leave me a comment down below, and I will do my absolute best to get back to each and every one of you. Again, if you're one of the people that is still missing your items from that blog sale, please email me so that I can make that right and get you your items. And I love you guys so much. I missed y'all, and I'm really happy to be back. I hope that it's fairly frequent, at least, if not, regular. I hope I'm here at least somewhat often. So let me know any ideas for videos you'd like to see, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.